Hello everyone, George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape, and this video has been a long time coming. I had a friend of mine, Keith Kalfas, that called me out and wanted to know a little bit about me. So, if you would be kind enough to follow along with me today, I will show you how I became the man that I am today. So, let's go. Okay, so this is where it all began for me. This is my parents' farm. So that's the barn area right there. And my father owns all this land, all the way back over here. If you go all the way, sweep that way. Kind of starts where you see that brush line back there. And it goes all the way back to the wooded area back here. So I'm going to give you the 50-cent tour of the place. So we worked this was an operating dairy farm, and I believe that this is where I got my work ethic from, where we did a lot of work here. I mean, you were up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you worked till probably at least 9 o'clock at night, and then you came in and you ate your supper and you went to bed and all those good fun little things, maybe watch a little TV if you had any time left. But this is the barn. Back in the day, my dad put this tin on this shed afterwards. It wasn't always like this. He had the old barn boards and all that stuff on here. But now that he's retired and stuff, now he kind of fixes the place up. It looked a lot worse back in the day, but my mom and dad always took pride in everything they did. So, but anyway, if you look out here, you can see where our neighbors are down the road. At one time, this was all dairy farms. Everybody was a dairy farmer on this road. So it's not that way anymore. My dad was the last dairy farmer, and then he retired, and that was pretty much the end of it, because I didn't pursue dairy farming. I didn't think there was a ton of money in it, and so I mean, I enjoyed it, but I felt a different calling of sorts, So anyway, this is the old grain tank here that we used to have, and anyways, for the cattle, get your grain for the cattle. The machine shed where Dad always worked on things in here. And this was our milk house, where you get the milk from the cattle. That's where all that stuff was stored. And let's see, let's go into the barn here. Let's show you this. Now keep in mind, this is old school. This has all been redone, but you get up every morning and you would come through here. I don't know how the lighting is in here, guys, but probably not the best. But you would have the cattle in here, and you'd come up here and feed grain. My job every day was to feed grain to the calves, or the cows rather, and the calves, and you'd feed them milk and stuff. And so you turn this on, your grain comes out of here, and so on and so forth. Probably why my lungs are all screwed up to date because of that stuff, but who knows? I'm just kidding. I have asthma. So anyway, here's the old stanchions. Look at the cobwebs on these things. How long they've been here. I used to pop them open, and I don't know if they'll come open anymore. Oh yeah. And the cows would come in, put their heads in, and slam them shut, and that holds them there, and then you could put the milkers on them and milk them. That's what we did. So, all the old stanchions, the haymow. Now I spent a lot of time in that haymow. Here's the gutters out here in the barn. You always clean these. You had to clean these. We had a chain, and the chain, we thought we were really fancy because you had a chain that took the cow manure out of the barn, and you didn't have to shovel all this, because in the beginning, we had to shovel this stuff. And then Dad put the chain in, and it was so much better, And we put a pipeline in, it was called a pipeline, for milk, where all you had to do is hook the milker up to the cow, and the milk would go up into this one pipe, and the pipe would take it all the way into the milk house. So that saved a lot of carrying by hand, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the barn. I guess we had about 50 head of cattle. Now Mom and Dad are just storing everything in here. Spent a lot of time in here, little boy. A lot of time. Alright, so now go out to machine shed where, like I said, Dad worked on everything. Our old silo, we used to put silage in that thing, so we would go and cut the grass out in the fields, and it'd get chopped up in a blower right here. That blower would sit here, blow it up and then go in there, and you had to get in there and level that top off, which was like 150 degrees in the top of that thing. It was horrible. The shed out here, show you Dad's shed here, my dad's truck. And look how organized my dad is with everything. He's got every nut and screw and bolt, and he's just got everything so organized. You know, everything. So he worked, he didn't throw anything away. Everything was saved, and my dad was a machinist at one time before he bought the dairy farm. So, and his father was a dairy farmer, so then Dad went into that, and he told the story, which I think is kind of unique, where he talked about the first 2 years, I believe he said, that he had this business of dairy farming. He actually had it up for sale. It was so hard, and everything he touched kept breaking and breaking and breaking, and he was just like, that's it, we got to get out of this. I don't know why we got into it. And in the end, my dad made good money, you know, but it took a lot of getting knocked down to get there. So there's a lesson that needs to be protruded to everybody out there, so that you understand it's not always peaches and cream. There's, you know, like I said, for the first couple of years, Dad had it for sale because he was so frustrated, and he just, nothing was going right. Everything was broken. The barn and the tractor didn't work, and the equipment didn't work. You know, it was all used stuff, you know. But he hung in there, and in the end, I mean, this place is worth a lot of money right now. And my dad made a lot of money. So, but he saved everything he made, you know. So, now let's go this way. So this is typical barnyard area out here. Where we would bring the calves in. My quick story, not that I ever have a quick story, but I'll try to make it quick. My Uncle Russell worked for my dad, and he came in there and he had a pet bull. And that was a big old 2,000-pound steer, you know. And anyway, that was his pet, and every day he would love on it, and he would give him kisses, and he had a great big head on this thing. It was a monstrous machine, you know. And in the morning, it's always dark out in the morning, and he came over one morning to kind of surprise my dad and get started early. He was up early anyway, couldn't sleep, so he figured, heck with it, I'll start milking early. So he comes out here, and he starts calling the cows up, you know, and it was always come bossy, that's what you called them. And they would just come in, you know, and they knew they were going to get grain and stuff when they got here. So they used to pasture out there, and they would come in, and my Uncle Russell heard something really weird and, you know, like bellowing. And as soon as he turned around like this, he was trying to get the barn door open, he gets hit by his own bull. He said he saw the bull coming through the cattle, knocking the cattle everywhere. Hammers my Uncle Russell, takes him to the ground, and just kept beating him and beating him, almost killed him, busted up all kinds of bones in him, all kinds of stuff. Had a dog that was an Australian healer. And my Uncle Russell told me, he said, I thought I was dead. I can't get this bull off me. You know, I'm trying to stop him, and his head, he's just smashing him into the ground. And his last thing that he saw was, her name was Sheba. And he says, get him, Sheba. And Sheba came, because he could just see Sheba just sitting there. Sheba come running around and grabbed the ankles of, that's why they call them healers. They go for the heels on these cows, and they turn them, you know. And that's what he did. He turned the bull, and gave my Uncle Russell enough time to crawl out of here, and then he crawled over and got Dad and had to go to the hospital and all that stuff. But just tried to make that as quick as I could for the story. This is the old barnyard. There's still equipment laying back here, gates, this and that. Now my mom and dad, they run a beef operation out of here, so they have a few head of beef that they deal with. And if we walk back here, I can kind of show you that quick. All right, they're not back here, so they got to be on the other side, so we got to go around. So anyway, this is the land. This is all being farmed yet from my dad. So, and there's potato guys, you know, he works with those guys back and forth. This is our old machine shed in here too that we use. Big old cat took off in there. So in here, my dad's old tractor, and a couple of them here had all redone. I remember when he had this, both of them, all redone, brand new looking. They were just beautiful. Anyway, a bunch of old machinery back in here yet. Some of my stuff. My dad always used to have these tires that he saved. This was a whole roll of tires. I remember this. He still has some up there. And everybody that needed tires for their vehicles always came to Dad because I don't know how he kept acquiring these tires, but he had them all the time. When you had your vehicle, it didn't have 4 matching tires. None of them did. You know, us kids when we were growing up, we were poor, man. There was nothing here. This building, when Dad put this up, I want to say it cost him $15,000. Today it would probably cost him $100,000, you know. And we stored hay. We used to pile hay all the way up to that ceiling up there, and his equipment would sit outside. We had so much hay. Well, he's got so much land, you know what I mean? So, and it was always a lot of physical work there. So my best memories of growing up, honestly, are this farm. It was hard work. We didn't have time for things. We didn't have Nintendo. We didn't have movies, anything like that. We had television. We had 3 channels. It was like 7, 9, and 12. And I think 20 came along, you know, it was like an educational channel or whatever. That's all you had. So we didn't have a lot of entertainment. You know, we entertained ourselves. My brothers used to pound the shit out of me on a daily basis. That's how they entertained themselves. I entertained myself by becoming fast to see how fast I could be to get away from them. So, but I got a lot of whoopings. I'm telling you, when I was young, I was the baby of the family. So I had 2 older brothers, and my sister could even beat me up. God damn. So anyway, that's another machine shed. So that's my parents' house over here. Now I'm going to show you where I lived. My first place, my dad helped set up for me, is right over here. We'll kind of cut through here. They rent this out now. They rent it out to some very nice lady. But been here a long time. But this is where this was my first house, basically. So it's right next door to Mom and Dad's, obviously. Look at the size of that bull. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Come here. Come on. That's like the bull that destroyed my Uncle Russell there. About like that. Big son of a gun. Beautiful though. Alright, so anyway, this is where I lived. This is a trailer house that we had. And I thought it was a carpenter. I was not. I put the addition on that garage. Take a look at that. Look at that addition. Can you guys see that? Yeah, so I did that, and clearly that did not work. So, ta-da, type of a moment when I realized I'm not a carpenter. I got to get out of this business. So, but yeah, that's what I did. I did auto body in that garage over here. Did auto body in here. Here, I'll show you, back in the day when I was in karate for many years, I had throwing stars, and I know them holes are still here. There. Look at my handiwork. I had right here. If you can see that, if you can get back here and get a shot of this. This deck was not here. All these holes that are in this thing, there's a huge area right here. I had a target here, and I would throw these throwing stars at this thing for hours. It was just I was big into karate, nunchucks, and throwing stars and all that cool stuff. All right, let's go back this way. So that, I think, is about the end of the farm thing. I think. Let's run back across this way. There was a garden here. My mom, this was all garden for many, many years. Now they're down to this small little garden right here. And of course, this is where our food came from. You know, between the cattle, you'd butcher cows for your meat, and then this ran all the way to the road over there, and you were out here and you had all your vegetables and stuff, and tomatoes and stuff. So my mom and dad are older. They don't need that much anymore. Big apple trees here. Had for many years. Somebody did an awesome job of landscaping this. Look how nice that looks. All right, now I gotta go say hi to my parents because I'm here. I called them this morning, told them I was coming, but I'm gonna go say hi to them and then I'll be right back with you.